A week ago, the hottest day ever for Buccaneers football at Tampa Stadium. 95 and 110 down on the field. We might eclipse that today. Temperature right now 87 and a welcome breeze as the Buccaneers face the Packers. Good afternoon, everyone. Along with Matt Millen, I'm Mike Emmerich. Vinny Testaverde has fought off the flu. He will be Sam Wyche's quarterback today. Sam's got this big bag of tricks, but what does he do about the heat?
Well, when you talk about Sam Wyche, you talk about innovation. And the way to take care of that heat today, he's going to do two things. First of all, he'll have the no huddle, and that's to wear down the defense. And secondly, he's going to go with changing of the offensive line, and that's to keep himself fresh.
Green Bay, a good game last week, though they lost in overtime. Does Mike Holmgren do anything differently?
I don't think so. I think if you're Mike Holmgren, you got to be happy with the way things went, except for a win. What you have to do is instill a confidence in the team, and he got it done last week. Belief in the system and a belief in themselves.
Battling flu, kicker Chris Jackie kicked so well last season that a quarter of his kicks were touchbacks. Gary Anderson is the deep man. Nobody in 17 years has ever run one of these back for 6. Anderson from the 5. Got as far as the 30. Jeff Brady was the one who tripped him up.
Well, you're going to see right off the start what we talked about, and that's going with the no huddle. Right here, Sam gets them all together. They've already scripted their plays. They know what they're going to do. Now it's just, hey, boys, let's get together and run the show.
Extra advantage with the heat. Tampa Bay used to it, but Green Bay not at all unprepared for this. Highsmith and Cobb in the backfield for Tampa Bay. To Cobb at the 35 and shoved out at the 41. Vinny Testaverde has had these bouts of flu and dizziness before, but has played and he's won. Paul Gruber in for snap 39, 18 in a row. He's pegged to play all of them today. Reimers, Mayberry, McHale, and Charles McCray with Ty J. Armstrong, the only natural tight end. Cobb and Highsmith in the background. Dawsey and Carrier, the wide receivers. So how fast is the no huddle? The snap comes. 35 seconds after the first one. And the first completion goes to Mark Carrier. Vinnie Clark took him out.
What Testaverde has going for him right now, he's got that emotion on his side. See, he's got the defensive side of the ball with Green Bay. They're a little unbalanced, off balance. You got to regroup, get everybody together, and get on the same page.
Anderson and Highsmith in the background. Mark Carrier out to the left. To the right, it's Lawrence Dawsey. 1st and 10 from the 41. Anderson. Thrown for a loss. Bryce Pop got in on him. Defensively, Matt Brock, John Yurkovich joined Robert Brown for his 151st straight Union game start. It'll be Pop, D'Onofrio, Holland, and Bennett, with Billups and Clark and Butler and the signal caller Chuck Cecil in back. Mark Carrier again, this time across the 40. Lewis Billups, former Cincinnati Bengal. Cecil calling the signals back there with Clark and Butler as well. No change in Green Bay's defensive unit.
And that's what they can't do in the no huddle. They don't have a lot of time for change, and that's what Sam Wyche wants to take advantage of.
Anderson and Highsmith in the backfield again. We talked last week about Green Bay working the clock. Tampa Bay doing that well with these short passes. Testaverde escapes. A first down at the 22 before Chuck Cecil caught him.
That's a 15-yard gain by Vinny Testaverde, and how it happens is real simple. Everybody's covered. We go back. He's flushed out of the pocket, and it's just fine open daylight. When we talked to Bennett yesterday, Tony Bennett, he told us that he was very, very surprised that that man, Testaverde, is able to get out and run as well as he does. He said he's really keeps you off balance with that kind of, with his running ability.
Matt Brock stopped Highsmith. Give him a yard on that. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
There's John Yurkovich down. Packers got to have him.
With the injury, a chance to regroup. Both of these coaches go with a game plan. It's called a master 15. They don't always adhere to it, but at least their offenses know what they're going to go with.
Ezra Tuaolo in for the injured John Yurkovich at nose.
Good movement by Tampa Bay on their first series today. 2nd and 9 at the 22. Dawsey to the right, Mark Carrier to the left. Gary Anderson is out to the right as well. Who does he want? Dawsey along the sideline, and they mark him out at the 7.
Nice out pattern. The reason they have it is the great protection up front. Let's watch inside. One of the things that they said they had to get done was put pressure on Vinny Testaverde. They don't get it done here.
McHale is out at right guard. Tim Ryan is in. Testaverde 4 for 4 in passing and 50 yards net. A give this time. And a fumble at the 6.
Going the other way.
Stanford Jennings lost it. Matt Brock came up with it.
Looks like it's just a mistake here at the handoff. Stanford Jennings loses the handle right at the top. Right there. Never gets his hands on it. And then it's just a mad dash for the ball. Who can get there first? Green Bay wins.
Well, Don Makowski comes on. 2nd week with the new offense. Will work the clock despite the heat. Seems much more confident over these last 2 weeks. If he can have a series like he did in the first series last week, everybody in Green Bay will be pleased. This one starts at the 5. And Workman across the 10 to the 12. Along the line for Green Bay, Rutgers, Moran, Campen, Hallstrom, and Salem, the interior, with tight end Ed West. Workman and Sidney in the backfield. Sanjay Beach and Sterling Sharp at wide receiver. Sharp with a 56-game reception string coming into this.
They want to get Makowski into the game as quick as he can, get him settled down, and let him work on his confidence. That's a big deal with him, and that's a big deal with his offense.
Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 12. Workman again. Defensively for Tampa Bay, a 4-man front with Seals, Wheeler, Santana, Dotson, and McCants. Dotson, the guy that made the big sack on Rosenbach of Phoenix last week. Williams, an interception last week. Tiggle and Thomas. Reynolds, Matt Carter, and Fullington. Fullington in place of the injured Covington.
And when you talk about this defense with Floyd Peters, you talk about this man right here, Broderick Thomas. He's a man who they're really counting on. Pick up the pace. They don't have big pace setters. He's got to make a lot of things happen for this defense to do well.
Packers have 3 wide receivers, Beach, Brooks, and Sharp. Workman is the lone setback. 3rd down and 2. Workman has got the first down.
And he gets that first down real easy. At least it looks like that to us. What he does has the great second effort. Vince Workman coming off a big game last week. Really, no one expected it. Only this man expected it, Vince Workman.
Mentioned Tony Covington is on injured reserve now because of a knee. Darrell Fullington was the man who made the stop. Detroit with an early lead this afternoon. Clock moving, just under 9.5 to go in the first period. A scoreless quarter so far from Tampa Bay. Sharp out wide to the right. Beach to the left. Little flip for Sidney, incomplete.
Well, they go with the play action. And he had him wide open, but Mikowski just didn't get the right touch on the ball. Harry Sidney out in the flat, had some room to run. And this is what we're talking about, getting settled down and getting into the game. It's important for a quarterback, especially in a new system, to be able to go out and get on top of the game. You do that with a lot of short passes, handing the ball off early, and that's what they're doing here.
Belief in the system is something the Packers certainly have. Mikowski has conveyed that, and virtually every member of the team has as well. Take some time to learn it and get it going properly. Last week was a good start. Mikowski drops deep, lays it over for Sidney. Fell, and now is knocked down at the 17. And lost it. And a touchdown. Ricky Reynolds.
There's the flag down.
May have been on the run, or it may have been for the celebration.
Well, they're going to talk about it. We're going to find out. Watch a short pass out to Harry Sidney, and you'll see Harry slip, fall down, get back up because he's a second effort guy. Ball just pops loose on him right there. Ricky Reynolds with the strip. That's a great job by Ricky Reynolds. And then the heads-up play to go get it. Gets the escort into the end zone. You see the strip right there, and the ball comes loose. He just comes off, picks it up, takes off and goes. They're still having a conversation down there.
Personal foul on the fumbling team. Personal foul on the recovering team. The penalty's offset. Touchdown.
An early 6 for Tampa Bay.
Ricky Reynolds talked to him yesterday. Said he had to have some big plays early. And his 15-yard fumble recovery for the touchdown is big.
Ed Brady to snap. Dan Straczynski to hold. Career-wise 63 for 63 is Ken Willis on point after touchdowns. Make it 64. And on the scoreboard, make it 7.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, with a clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Mercedes-Benz, builder of fine automobiles since 1886. And by U.S. Air. Every time we fly, everywhere we go, everything we do, U.S. Air begins with you.
Third touchdown in the career of Ricky Reynolds. So 7-0 early Tampa Bay. Ken Willis has been known to blast them off the 35-yard line. 3 for 6. Went to the end zone last week. Waiting for Green Bay, it'll be Edgar Bennett. The far side and the near side, it'll be Robert Brooks. So each team with a turnover, but Tampa Bay converts for a touchdown immediately. To the end zone, and they'll wait. first series for Green Bay with the fumble, not a shattering experience necessarily for you to come out the gate and have that happen to you in terms of confidence, which we talked about with Green Bay?
They started to get into the offense a little bit, which everybody has. You have to get in and get settled down, because I don't care what game it is, you're always going to be a little bit nervous. And that hurts right now, but they've got to regroup. And this series right here will tell a lot about what kind of character this team has, because if they go flat and you get the emotion swinging onto the Tampa Bay side, it could be a long day.
Ed West, 86. Jackie Harris also in the lineup for Green Bay. Vince Workman, the lone setback, but timeout is called by Green Bay. They were trying to cheat the clock and could not.
What happens when you run out of time? It's real simple. See this man right here? They're waving to the sideline. They didn't have enough players on the field. They ended up with 10. Sterling Sharp says, hey, Ed West, get on in here. And he comes. What that did is wear down the clock. They got to the line of scrimmage. 2 seconds, had to call a timeout. That keeps them a little off balance right now, Mike. And they've got to be able to get back into sync. We talked about it the whole first quarter. Got to get it right here.
Beach to the right, Sharp to the left. Workman in the backfield for Green Bay. 1st and 10 from the 20. In motion is Jackie Harris. The long one, way off. Let's go back to New York for this NFL update, and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Mike, the Cowboys are off to a big start at the Meadowlands. A 72-yard drive capped by Emmitt Smith's 5-yard run. And then Robert Williams recovered a blocked punt in the end zone. Cowboys up on the Giants early, 14-0. Back to Mike and Matt in Tampa.
Controversy in New York, but they're used to it. Jeff Hostetler sitting these days.
But Emmitt Smith isn't. And they look hot. If they can get on a roll early, they're going to be awful tough to stop.
Big winner over Washington last week, Dallas. Vince Workman, Harry Sidney. Split backs, and the give goes to Workman. Can he turn? Got across the 25 to the 26 before Jimmy Williams tackled him.
And I talked to Vince Workman before the game. He was out there walking around the field. I said, Vince, what do you do when you get out here? He said he likes to visualize. He just walks up and down the sideline. He visualizes himself running down, people about to tackle him, moves that he might make. And it was really interesting for me, because I think a good player will always play the game before he ever gets on the field. It's got to go through his head 100 times, and Vince Workman does it.
Eldest of 3 children. Enjoyed him telling the story of his nickname Pookie yesterday, given to him by his mother. He is the guy in the backfield now for Green Bay. Majkowski. Intercepted. Fullington reverses, and again to the 20. Another Green Bay turnover.
Darrell Fullington with second big play in a row for this Tampa defense. Watch Sterling Sharp. He's going to try to come in and work back out. What's going to happen? The ball's thrown behind him. Tipped. Picked by Fullington. Turnover. Right there. See? Catch the ball. Now look to get some yards. Now Fullington does a great job. Turns it back. And that's exactly what Floyd Peters said they had to have early, was big plays from this defense.
Testaverde 4 for 4 for 50 yards. On the first down play, Gary Anderson down to the 11. Tony Bennett made the tackle.
Both these guys are Bill Walsh individuals. You're going to see 1, 2, 3 receiver routes. And all he's going to do is find the open man. His read progression goes from top to bottom. He finds the open man, turns it upfield.
Second down, 2 yards to go. Ball at the 12. Highsmith got across the 10 down to about the 8. Mark D'Onofrio made the tackle.
Vinny Testaverde battled that virus. Didn't even practice this week. At the end of the week. Came in today. It was a game-time decision. 5 for 5. Looks like a great decision right now.
Says he's had this before. Actually played with the virus in a game in Phoenix that his team won, and he had an outstanding fourth quarter, so he finished strong.
Watch the blitz.
Testaverde, touchdown.
Mark
Carrier, the man who did not have a reception last week.
Great catch, great throw. What makes it happen? Here comes the blitz. Watch Highsmith. Cecil can't get there. Find the open receiver. Touchdown, Mark Carrier.
So 13-0, and Ken Willis on again. 14. Sam Weiss was told by Mark Carrier, I didn't get one last week. He's got a TD now. In hot Tampa, they had 41,000 here last week for the opener, a victory over the Phoenix Cardinals. They're estimating around 55,000 for today. Mike Holmgren looks on in all the heat. We're right around 90 degrees now, and down on the field, both teams are thankful this is not artificial turf. Probably closing in on the high 90s as Ken Willis boots it.
Don Davey.
Not at all according to plan the way this one went, but Don Davey was able to advance it.
How do you score points early? Right here. See that? 2 turnovers. That kills him. 14 points off of 2 turnovers. Puts you in a big hole. How do you get this man right here, Floyd Peters? Floyd Peters says we have to have big plays from this defense. We got to take away the run game, got to slow down their pass game, but we have to make something happen. First quarter, he's made 2 things happen.
And if you hear Floyd Peters say it, you're going to believe it. A foghorn drill sergeant voice.
The all-time great voices in the NFL.
1st and 10 from the 28. Check that, Sterling Sharp. Got to the 40. Ricky Reynolds made the tackle.
Now we got to regroup now. We got to get everybody back into it. How do you do that? You put the ball in this man's hands. Sterling Sharp can make something happen. Sterling Sharp's the guy who's going to have to carry the load until we can get things regrouped and settled down. On the other side of the ball, you know he's going to get the ball. So you're going to maybe mix it a little man. You're going to mix it up a little bit. Floyd Peters said he wanted to be able to mix coverages on this man so Mikowski couldn't just settle in on one thing.
They move Sharp out to the left this time. Robert Brooks goes out to the right. First and 10 from the 40. Mikowski back for Sharp again, and he's got it from one hand to 2. And across the 50, he shoved out of bounds. Ricky Reynolds took care of him there.
We talked to Ricky Reynolds this week about Sterling Sharp. We asked him what's the biggest thing about him. He said, look, he's not a great speed guy. He's got good, smooth moves, but what he does very well is run with it after the catch. We got to make the tackle once he makes the catch, and our defense will be all right.
Well, his rack yards were pretty impressive on his touchdown grab on the very first drive last week in Green Bay against the Vikings. Had 99 overall on the day. Workman is the workman, but this time he doesn't get much. Mark Wheeler made the stop.
In the middle of this defense, Tampa's opening with some nice rookies. These 2 men right here, Santana Dotson and Mark Wheeler, and they're just going to attack them because they're so young in the middle. Wheeler does a great job of covering off Campen's block and making the tackle. Pick up a 1.5 yards. We talked to Santana Dotson about it, and all he kept on mentioning the whole time was that man, Mark Wheeler. Wheeler thinks he's going to be an excellent player in this league. Floyd Peters says they thought he was the best nose guard coming out of college last year.
Second down, 8 yards to go, just outside the 46. The pitch to Sharp. Sterling Sharp across to the 45. Jimmy Williams made the stop.
And that man right there, Ray Seals, is out there to turn it all back in. Now, Ray Seals, one of those guys, one of the few players in the league who didn't go to any college. A few years back when I was with the Raiders, guy right before me, Otis Sistrunk, he didn't go to college either. So we always asked Trunk, where'd you go to school? He always said the University of Mars. So I wanted to find out where that man goes to school. Looks more like Saturn.
Seals watches. 14-0 Tampa Bay. 3:30 to go in the first quarter. 4 wide receivers. Mikowski back. Sanjay Beach with the ball, hit at the 42 and driven back. Milton Mack with the stop.
Nice tackle by Milton Mack. Floyd wants aggressive defense, and that's what they're getting right now.
So Tampa Bay has forced Green Bay to kick it, and Paul McJulian is on. One deep man, Courtney Hawkins. We have the 2 best fair catch forcers from last year punting today. Straczynski, number 1, and McJulian, number 2. Not very good.
What a good bounce. Inside the 20.
You guys say they'd rather be lucky than good. The right kind of bounce for Green Bay that time. Stomach churning a little different direction now for Mike Holmgren.
He may be getting some stomach cramps in his own after being down with the big plays.
So deep the Bucs start. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 6. Reggie Cobb turned but couldn't get much further than the yard line marker. Leroy Butler was there first.
When you're running a counter OT, everything has to happen right inside. And that's people coming down and everybody working around. Watch Esra Tualolo coming across, working, nice block. Gets Cobb outside, but forced it deep. No gain.
They will give him a yard on that and call it 2nd and 9.
They can call it what they want. I saw it as no gain.
Willie Drury is split out. Testaverde lays it out, and Cobb has it. And he's still on his feet. To the 34. More than enough for a first down. Johnny Holland made the tackle.
Watch what happens. They're going to send him out in the flat. Bryce Pop's got to be able to get on the coverage right here. Doesn't happen. Play action holds him. Cobb out in the flat. First down.
Off of big plays, Tampa Bay likes to do a quick snap. This one will not be too quick. Final minute of play in the first quarter. 14-0 Tampa Bay. It's been all there so far. Drury and Hawkins are out wide to the left.
Run blitz.
Testaverde has to shake one man and can't do it. Bryce Pop was back to make the sack.
You heard me say run blitz. They brought D'Onofrio up inside, and what that does is hold everything inside. That allowed Bryce Pop. Watch him come inside here. Pop will be coming around the corner. That occupies men right there, McHale. See Pop coming underneath. Testaverde has a lot of time. Coverage must have been good. Sack, Bryce Pop.
Drury to the right, Hawkins to the left. Cobb and Highsmith in the backfield. It is Willie Drury from the 30. Close to a first down, but not quite. Lewis Billups made the stop, and Bryce Pop there too.
Testaverde right now, he's hot, and they need him to be hot. Now we asked him about Vinny Testaverde. What kind of a player is he? How does he have to develop? They said we got to surround him with better people. More people and better people. If he can do that, we think he can be a big timer.
The end of the first quarter with the score. The Buccaneers 14, the Packers nothing. Nothing Tampa Bay, the team that defeated Phoenix 23-7 last week. Boy, is that ever scorching.
That
with
looks
all
terrible.
of the equipment on, too. We were hearing speculation that 8 to 10 pounds might be dropped per man, despite the platoon system, moving men in and out. This is the hottest place you ever played.
Was down in Atlanta in 82. 95 and 95% humidity. And I was 280 pounds at the time, and I lost a bunch of weight in that game. 16 pounds. Nobody noticed. I didn't understand.
Packer fans are probably wondering if the coldest you ever were was in Green Bay.
No, it wasn't. Coldest I ever was in Cleveland, so take that.
3rd down and 10 for Tampa Bay from their own 34. 4 wide receivers. Carrier, Hawkins, and Dawsey. Anderson in the backfield. And Willie Drury as well split out. From the shotgun, Testaverde. And he found his man, Lawrence Dawsey. A 3rd and long play becomes a 1st down for Tampa Bay. And Vinny has him humming.
As they change their offensive lines on the fly, you'll watch them come off the corner on the blitz. But what happens is he gets down inside. They spread that defense out, and they work the receivers back inside the zone. 1st down. Randy Grimes, he's down. Looks like an ankle. Randy Grimes has been here, and it's been a tough road for Randy Grimes. He's a player. He's been here for 10 years. He's lost a minimum of 10 games every year he's been here.
They tend to Grimes. We'll tend to some business. (14-0) Tampa Bay. Early stages of the 2nd quarter here at Tampa Stadium. Fans are pretty pleased with this. Got a Ricky Reynolds touchdown recovery of a fumble. 8:58 go on in the 1st, and that got them on the board, and they've just built that. And Vinny Testaverde, who has battled off the flu this week and had vertigo, just was not able to get a lot of balance going for himself on Thursday, has been 9 for 9 with 116 yards. Can't get any better than that in terms of perfection from that balance.
9 for 9. You want him to get sick every week.
Guys that have had that before, I guess, don't panic with it. I would have to think the first time out in Phoenix, though, that it really threw him back. But game trooper, he came in and played. And they won that one. They're ahead in this one. Reggie Cobb.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
1 TD for Testaverde in the numbers that we had given you, and Reynolds the fumble return for the touchdown. Both off turnovers. Cobb again. Cuts back. He has enough for the 1st down.
Reggie Cobb. Reggie Cobb's a player. We asked Sam Weiss, what kind of player is Reggie Cobb? This is the kind of guy, he said, he's not quite Barry Sanders. He's not quite Thurman Thomas. He's in the next level. What he needs is more experience, and he has to have early success. And once he gets that, he has a chance to get to that next level. Looks like he's showing it to us here.
Stanford Jennings in the backfield, the man who fumbled earlier. Reggie Cobb stays in. Hawkins out to the right and Drury to the left. Off of Jennings. Incomplete, and so a 2nd and 10 play. Tim Houck defending.
And as I watch this game progress, one thing really steps out at me. That's Bill Walsh. He may be at Stanford, but he's right here today. Both these coaches using that system, and both these new quarterbacks with the system having to pick it up and get comfortable with it. Testaverde, he looks like he's pretty comfortable. That was his first incompletion of the day.
Scott Hawkins out wide to the right now on this 2nd and 10 play. Willie Drury is out to the left. Cobb. Dragged down by Don Davey. A marker down on the field.
This is one of the things right now that you see with this offense. They talk about no huddle. They talk about wearing you down. But really, when they're at the line of scrimmage, they're taking their time. They're making their calls. There's not that much of a difference between huddling up and staying on the line of scrimmage. The difference is sometimes they will go quick, and you have to be ready for it defensively.
No marker, 3rd and 10. Ball in play from the 41 out of the shotgun. Testaverde has them ready. Dropped it on a rush. Bryce Popp was the guy who got in there again. And so Tampa Bay back near midfield.
They had to get pressure on the quarterback, and they come off the corner. Watch Bryce Popp. They had to have the pressure early, they said. They got it. Lester Archambault, Popp run a twist up top. He drops the ball, and that allows him to come back.
So it'll be Dan Straczynski to punt. None of his punts last week were returned. He had 4 of them. 2 down, 1 fair catch, and a touchback. Robert Brooks standing back at the 10 to receive. Not quite.
Joey Browner almost makes the big play on the punt team. And they got everybody out there. Joey Browner, they just picked up after he's been waived to Minnesota. We need some leadership. We're going to put him out there. Where do we need our leadership? We need it on special teams because he said we've been horrible. So we put Joey Browner out there. Just slips the huge play away.
Flag is down back near the 2-yard line. And another one of those conferences going on right now.
You know, I never liked that. Downfield too fast. Somebody left too soon. That's Ed Hercules. Like the mighty Hercules. The mighty Hercules. Sterling Sharp's trying to get his 2 cents in there. He'll argue his point. Then he'll have to come over and he'll have to explain to the coaches.
Illegal touching by the member of the kicking team who went out of bounds and was the first player to touch the ball back in bounds. That penalty is declined. That was number 47. The result of the play is a touchback.
So the flag really means nothing. They get the touchback anyway. What illegal touching means, he went out of bounds, and once he's out of bounds, he can't come back into the field of play and make a play. He did.
The disciples of Walsh. Michael on the left, Samuel on the right.
You know, it's funny. They both do a lot of things the same, but they do a lot of things different. They both script their first 15 plays. They both say they're heavily influenced by Bill Walsh, but they both have their own little trademark. Trademark for Weiss to be innovative as much as he can. And that's what we've seen here today.
Considerable shifting by the Packers as Mikowski is back. Finds his man. It is Sidney, and Sidney to the 36.
They got to start picking things up here. They got to start getting back into the flow. So we're going to either run the ball or we're going to go with the short passing game, because in this offense, the short passing game is a way to control the football. So you send Harry Sidney out underneath coverage, let the zone push deep, throw under, first down.
16-yard gain. So a good builder for Mikowski on this series. Sidney and Bennett now in the backfield. Sterling Sharp out to the left. Robert Brooks to the right. Sidney this time got to the 40. Calvin Tiggle with the stop. Now for an NFL Today report. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Mike, at RFK in Washington, Atlanta punting to the Redskins. Brian Mitchell laterals to Desmond Howard, who covers ground in a hurry. 58 yards for his first NFL touchdown. Deion Sanders then returned the kickoff that followed 99 yards for a TD. 14-7 Redskins, second quarter, Mike.
Talk about immediate impact. Desmond Howard in game 2 and Deion Sanders just over from baseball. Braves had a pretty big lead going. There'll be a dispute about whether they miss him that much or not, but he has made an impact, and there was more impact as we had some encroachment. Ken Rutgers, maybe the guy flagged for this.
False start prior to the snap by the offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Kenny Rutgers has to get into his game. That's like the rest of the offense, but they really rely on this man. Last week he had a tough game against Dolman. This week he's going to have another one over McCants, Broderick Thomas, both good pass rushers. They need a big performance out of Kenny Rutgers if they want that line to settle down.
Second down, 11 yards to go. Vince Workman, the lone man in the backfield. 14-0 Tampa Bay. 10 minutes to go, second quarter. And it is Workman across the 45. He's got enough for the first down.
What you watched right there was a great mix-up from Mike Holmgren. Watch the draw coming right up the middle. People turning out right through the middle of the defense. And they're taking advantage of the young players inside. Wheeler and Dotson. You see Hallstrom there, push him to the side. Vince Workman right up the middle. First down.
Good deception by Mikowski. So they're starting to move. Sidney and Bennett in the backfield. Sharp out wide to the right. Robert Brooks out to the left. First down play from the 46. He escapes. Got to the 45, short of a first down, but it could have been very perilous for Don Mikowski. Jimmy Williams was there to make the stop.
He just did there exactly what Floyd Peters said they had to be careful of. He used his feet to beat you. They had good coverage in the back, and what they did, they had good pressure from the sides. He forced them to step up where they had to have them, but then he used his feet, and he picked up the 8 or 9 yards, and that hurts you.
Short of a first down by 2. So the Packers starting to move it now. Sanjay Beach is out wide to the right. Sidney and Bennett in the backfield, and it's given to Bennett. To the 43. Should be enough for the first down. Jimmy Williams again with a stop.
Floyd Peters is an old school guy. He played in the league, had great success, but he wants to coach the old way. Aggressive, tough. That's what I want. And when you watch Floyd Peters, intensity just flows from him. He's got the great voice. He's got the great respect. He says the toughest thing for his defense right now is that they're too young. Probably half of them don't remember that he was out there. But the respect is there, and that's what you got to have for a great coach.
By youth, I guess he means concentration that drifts from now and then, and maybe it's drifting right now, and maybe that's why he's so concerned as he looks over the Packers. First down play, Mikowski back. Overthrown. Milton Mack defending on Sanjay Beach.
Yeah, Mikowski had some good protection that time, but he also got man-to-man coverage. Watch the protection up front. He's getting plenty of time. When you get him matched up in a man, you got to be able to see him come clean first. Didn't get it. Great job up front. Arnie Carter, Milton Mack. Mack matched up. Did a nice job. Floyd Peters said he had to be able to keep Mikowski off balance by mixing the zone and the man. That's what he's gotten settled into here.
So on 2nd and 10 from the 42, again 4 wideouts for Green Bay.
Nope.
Mikowski with a little flip. Pickup of a couple as Edgar Bennett got it to the 40. Jimmy Williams again with a tackle.
This is a page right out of Dan Reeves' book. They'll try to get the big pass rush look, and then they'll run him underneath. Nobody accounts for him. They happen to get him in man-to-man coverage, and Jimmy Williams does a good job of staying with his coverage, coming over and making the tackle. Nice tackle there by Jimmy Williams, an ordained minister. And the interesting thing they said about him was he's an ordained minister with a great mean streak.
Well, the fans want Tampa Bay to get mean on defense right now. One wraparound by Mikowski and one little flip. Sam Weiss normally has the corner on some of these moves, but Green Bay has advanced both times with those plays. Mikowski had his pass batted down by Broderick Thomas.
Broderick Thomas made a great play right there, and it's going to go down, and nobody will ever know it. What he did, he got so much pressure, he had to throw the ball away. It was a screen that was wide open. Broderick Thomas has to be the big playmaker, and he made one.
Courtney Hawkins, the only man back for Paul McJulian's punt. Green Bay short a man.
Now they're getting
couple come on. A one on and one going back off.
Just take the penalty. Don't worry about it. They let that clock run down, but Brian Noble, who they just got into camp, showed a little bit of his veteran savvy there. 5 yards isn't going to make that much of a difference from this point of the field. In fact, may even help you to be able to get it down inside the 20. So you take the penalty,
It remains fourth down.
you regroup, and you kick the ball.
So McJulian will stand on his own 45 now. Hawkins, the deep man, now shifts to the 10. Fair catch signaled. And at the 9, he's got it. So Vinny and the boys go back to work when we come back. The place holds almost 75,000. They've got her much more closer to being filled today than they had last week. It was 92 degrees last week, and it's starting to get there this week. Along with Matt Millen, Mike Emmerich, Vinny Testaverde starting to put his team to work. 1st and 10 from the 10. Kopp tripped up at the 10, fell forward.
John Yurkovich went out in the first quarter with an injury, but he's the man in the middle of that defense that they really rely on. He's a good, strong guy, stays nice and low, and holds that back corner. See that? Doesn't allow the cutback. Noble gets in and makes the tackle. Big plus for John Yurkovich.
Plus, indeed, that he was back in following an injury in the first series. Testaverde back. Juggled but caught. Mark Carrier, the man who had the touchdown reception earlier, comes up with a grab there.
Watch Mike Carrier. He's come down the field on Vinnie Clark, and he's just going to pass him off in the zone, turn it over to Chuck Cecil. They're going to work on that safety. You turn it over to a safety, you get a wide receiver with speed. That's a tough decision. Carrier knows where they want to go. You know, it's interesting with Sam Weiss how they're going to attack this defense. They know Ray Rhodes real well. They work together, and they know who they have to get to. They have to get to the safeties when they turn it over to that 2-deep look, and he got it.
4 receptions, 53 yards for Carrier, including the touchdown. That time, 20 yards gained. 1st and 10 from the 31. 14-0 Tampa Bay. Just under 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Testaverde lays it out. And run out of bounds just short of the 45 was Carrier again.
Testaverde's hot. He's having all kinds of time. Watch Paul Gruber on Lester Archambault. Paul Gruber's the guy who stays in there all the time. He's working on a consecutive play streak, whatever that is. He's got great hands. Doesn't let him to the corner. Gives him plenty of time. Sam Weiss says Paul Gruber is in the Anthony Munoz mold, and he's in that league. He says Munoz still captains the team, but Gruber's right there. That's a heck of a compliment because Munoz, one of the best I've ever played against.
And compliment, too, that everybody else is being changed, but Gruber is the guy that's in for everything. Gary Anderson the carry, and Bryce Pop with the stop.
Gary Anderson. Boy, when I watch that film, he just jumps out at you. And we talk to the players on the offense, and they say the same thing. We've got to be able to get the ball in Gary Anderson's hands. I talked to DeBerg, we got to get it in his hands. We talked to Testaverde, we got to get it in his hands. He's one of the smooth speed guys who can make something happen. Last year they said they made a mistake by running him inside. They got to get him on the outside, on the periphery, and have him make the big play.
See what they do this time on 2nd and 6 from their own 48-yard line with a 2-touchdown lead. Testaverde chased by 3. Complete to Jennings. Got back to the line of scrimmage, but the way it looked, that's cause for optimism.
We talked to defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes, and he said they had to be able to get pressure on him. They had to get some big-time pressure from the outside. They got it, but what they couldn't account for was Vinny Testaverde's ability to be able to get away from it. Vinny Testaverde showed me a lot here today.
3rd down and 7. Jennings very sure-handed after the fumble earlier. Look at the numbers. Only 1 incompletion, 148 yards. And he's back again. And he completes again. And it's Mark Carrier again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark Carrier's making up for lost time. Last week, he didn't get one pass thrown to him, and all week long, Sam Weiss said he reminded him about it. I'll tell you what, he's getting a big load today, and he's responded. He's one of the few guys on this offense who has a lot of experience, and they're going to really need to lean on this guy to carry him through the lean times. Mark Carrier's got 75 yards already.
Another 1st down for Tampa Bay. Clock ticks down to just over 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Chain gang pretty fast at moving those yard line markers. That was another concern of Sam Weiss, who seems to think of everything. In motion is Anderson. Back is Testaverde. Looks for Carrier. He's got it. To the 4 before Vinnie Clark got him. The pass was good for 40. But how's Vinny?
Vinny Testaverde shaking up on that last play. Got a pretty good hit. Watch the top side arch, Embro, Holland and Tony Bennett coming off the top right here. See that? He's going to get to the corner of Gruber and get in on Testaverde at the end. Right on the knee. Got the match. That's 3 plays in a row that they went with blitzing from the Green Bay Packers, and 3 plays in a row where this man, Testaverde, found the open guy. Sam Weiss has high marks for Vinny Testaverde. He said it's a question of time. All we have to do is surround him with a few better players, and he can take a step becoming a real good quarterback.
Well, that's it right there, isn't it? I think Steve DeBerg may have foresaw what might have been happening to Testaverde when he was here the first time. The notion that, hey, there's not a whole lot going to be here, so it's not that bad to go elsewhere. But Testaverde will bring them out. 1st and goal from the 4.
And Sam Weiss has his Weeby package in right now. He says he gets inside that 20. He wants everybody scoring. He said Weeby scoring, so that's his Weeby package.
Testaverde. And out at the 5, but whistles had sounded. Brian Noble chased him out.
Noble does a good job. They got pressure again and forced him out of bounds. Sam White says, when we get inside that 20-yard line, I'm going to put all kinds of things in, but the whole package we're going to call the Weebies. I said, what the heck is a Weebies? He said, when we were in Cincinnati, we had it. He said, when we get inside the 10 or the 20, we be scoring. So we call it the Weebies.
Creative guy, keeps coming up with things. You'd think after all these years that he'd just get worn down and go for old reliables, but constantly developing new tricks. See what they have here on 2nd and goal. Anderson to the 4. Chuck Cecil was there to make the stop.
And that hole was closed real quick, and that's what Chuck Cecil does really well. Put Gary Anderson back there, and you're just going to hand him the ball deep and let him find his hole, and that's what he does real well. He has great vision. Chuck Cecil had the same look. Put a stop to it quick.
Quickly to the 3rd and goal play from the 5. Broken up by the Packers, and so they force a 4th down and goal from the 5. Leroy Butler was the one who got his hand in.
Gary Anderson, the player in this offense, that they said they had to get the ball into his hands. And when you're inside the 10-yard line, you can use his quickness and his speed. That's a great job by Butler and Cecil. They knew exactly where it was going and closed on it.
Ken Willis will come on. Ed Brady will snap. Dan Straczynski to hold. They'll spot it at the 12, making it 22. And yeah, he's been perfect in that as well as PATs. From that distance, he doesn't miss. And he doesn't this time either. A 17-point spread. 76 seconds to go. The scoreboard, 17-0. Last check of the thermometer, it was pushing 90, and some humidity too. And some other impressive numbers, like this last Tampa Bay scoring drive. Sam's fired, and so's his team. 11 plays, 86 yards, and the field goal by Willis.
And that's the difference been on this team. They said Sam's brought the enthusiasm, and you watched it right there.
Willis to the end zone again. No return again. Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry will have all the scores and highlights, plus a preview of the men's championship from the U.S. Open. Halftime just 1 minute and 6 seconds away from right now. Don Mikowski comes in, and for confidence sake alone has to get something going here, or they go in totally empty to the locker room for 12 minutes.
He looked like he had his confidence when they got into the rhythm of that second series. What they need now is points. I don't care how you do it, you got to get it. You got 1 minute 5 to go. Got to make something happen before the half.
Beach to the left, Sharp to the right. Mikowski back. And a sack. Ray Seals.
Ray Seals with a big play off the corner. Let the back come free, and they just turned him loose. Watch Ray Seals come right around the corner here. They're going to release the back, get people out into the coverage. Harvey Salem going to turn out on him. He works back underneath. Mikowski can't get away. Sack, big play. Harvey Salem, who they picked up on waivers from Denver, in for the injured Tootie Robbins last week. Ray Seals beats him inside.
The sack caused a loss of 10.
Ray Seals is one of those guys, really, you have to be proud of the guy. Came up the hard way, didn't go to college like we mentioned. But what he did was he played semi-pro because he knew eventually he wanted to have a shot here in professional football. And now he's got it. And he stepped in last year and he had a few starts. But this year, he thinks he's ready to become a regular. And Lloyd Peters likes him. He's tough. He's aggressive. It's what they like at that defensive end spot, and they're going to give him a good shot.
You can be scouted while playing for the Syracuse Express. Seals proof of that.
scrambling at the line.
Quick out for Sanjay Beach. Run out at the 12. Ricky Reynolds was there to push him out. So now this becomes 3rd and long.
Ricky Reynolds doing exactly what he said he had to do. We asked him about Sanjay Beach, and he said Sanjay Beach was one of those players who runs great routes. He reminded him a lot of Jerry Rice. He said in order to play him, he had to stay on him, get his hands on him, work the underneath stuff, because Beach was a guy who would not stop working. Terrell Buckley right here. See that man right there? Green Bay Packers are counting a lot on this guy.
And he's counting up quite a bit of money as a result, too. Averages out about $1.8 million over 4 years. Makowski got his man. Sidney got across the 20 to the 24.
There's the flag.
Face mask penalty. I don't know if it was a brush or a twist.
We'll see if they give him the flagrant or the.
Ed Hokuley, former back judge in his 3rd year, became a referee this year.
Face mask by the defense, number 54. 5-yard penalty only, not an automatic first down. Brings up a repeat, 3rd down.
There's Terrell Buckley. They're going to plug him right in. They said he was the best. Well, first of all, he said he was the best player in the draft. And after I talked to Ron Wolf and Mike Holmgren, they said, you know, he's probably right. We're going to put him in, and we're going to make him play because he's a playmaker. He's a confidence guy. He's a guy they think is going to elevate the whole game with that secondary back there.
And when he gets in, the Packers will have their top 5 picks all playing. 3rd and a yard. Makowski to throw. They've got the yard and more. Sterling Sharp with the reception out around the 37, and Broderick Thomas with the tackle.
And they just ran the zone, ran Sterling back underneath, get the first down, keep it going.
Packers in a hurry now. Makowski across, and Workman with it. Workman very close to another first down before Joey Browner nailed him.
Green Bay takes the 42nd timeout, and Mike Holmgren right now has got his plan working. He just wants to get down a little bit more, get a field goal, get some points on the board. We're down by 2. We can overcome the turnovers early. We can get right back into this game.
You don't necessarily go for what's comfortable here, but you should know that Chris Jackie has hit from 50 or more yards 4 times in his career. His long one is 53. Right now, they're 65 yards away from the goalpost. I think they should move them back up to the. I just love to watch field goal kicking, though I'm one of the rare guys. I think you guys like to see touchdowns. Well, actually, you like to see sacks.
I like to see good defense, but I like to see good offense. And this man here, Makowski, he likes good offense. And I think he's settled down now. He's into his game. He's working things underneath, throwing the quicks, being able to get the run game with Workman. They need to get some points. They're right back in the middle of this. And the man waiting to stop that whole thing is Floyd Peters. He's going to get those young guys up front to get the pressure, mix the coverage, take it all away. So the whole thing turns into a big chess match.
And another sack. Santana Dotson.
Santana Dotson. Santana Dotson, consensus All-American, was a 5th-round pick. Didn't seem to work. I asked him how that happened. He said he was labeled as being a lazy player in his last year, his senior year at Baylor. He said he came here to prove something. Last week he came out with 2 sacks. This week, another sack.
They continue the building program at Tampa Bay with a big lead. The end of the first half with the score, Buccaneers 17, the Packers nothing. Testaverde's receivers have been hot. And so are the Frisbee dogs.
Watch that Frisbee dog as he goes down. Does a classic in pattern. Nice catch. Reaches it at the high point. But here's the difference. See, he takes it right back the wrong way. And he's non-stop. The heat hasn't bothered him.
There is a hot receiver. Testaverde's are hot. We're hot too. (17-0). Tampa Bay, third quarter about to start. When you stop to think, Matt Millen, of how these fans have started to respond, you sense that they're believing, but we got the impression very early today that Tampa Bay believed right from the get-go that they could have this one.
Yeah, they believed, and they had to make big plays to do it, and they made 2 big plays. That's how they got it done. Watch up top, Ricky Reynolds. He's going to be man-to-man on Sterling Sharp, and the difference in the whole play, he never stops after his coverage. Watch the receiver come out to the bottom of your screen. That'll be Harry Sidney. Now, Ricky Reynolds comes all the way across field, getting to the ball. Floyd Peters taught aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Don't stop. Get up. Gets a nice block there by Marty Carter, and he's into the end zone. Second big play they had was done right here by this man, Lonzo Highsmith. He's going to take the blitzing linebacker. But watch the big play underneath by Tom McHale, the guard. Chuck Cecil should come clean right there. But look, right there. See that? Trips him. Not able to get through. Gives Testaverde the time. And Carrier waiting for the ball. 6 points. 2 big turnovers. 2 big touchdowns.
1 touchdown by the defense, 1 by the offense, 1 by the special teams. Edgar Bennett, Robert Brooks are out to receive. The kick coming from Willis. End zone again. This time Brooks will try it. By Darrell Fullington at the 18.
See there? That's the difference. 177 yards in passing offense by Testaverde, and he's been tough today. Been right on the money. 57 yards for Green Bay, and if they have to get into it, they're going to have to start throwing the ball well. And if they're going to throw the ball well, that man right there, number 4, Brett Favre. I don't understand why they're going to go with him. Maybe Mikowski got dinged or something, or maybe they just want another look. They're going to give Brett Favre a chance.
Going to complete, if he throws, his first NFL completion, and it's to himself. Knocked down by Ray Seals at the 10. Ray Seals was the one who tipped it.
Watch the lower left hand of your screen. Ray Seals, he's going to come. Going to have the man open. Watch Harry Sidney come through. Ray Seals does a good job getting his hands up, bats it down. This is what's going to make Brett Favre a good player. See, he never stopped. Very competitive. He doesn't want to go down. He's going to make something happen. The book on Brett Favre, he's got a rocket for an arm. He's got to learn some touch.
Beats to the left. Sharp to the right. Edgar Bennett. Marty Carter ran him out of bounds.
So they start the same thing. The second half, they got to get settled down, and they got to get some confidence to the quarterback. Don Mikowski's not the quarterback who's trying to get that confidence. I mean, he looks fine to me. Appears to me that Holmgren just went with the change, trying to inject something into this offense. Stats aren't bad, really. 10 out of 15, 66%.
Now, the feeling was last week that if Mikowski really had trouble, that he would be pulled last week into the second half. That didn't happen. But it has this week. Favre with a scramble. Fakes and earns some more yardage. And got out at the 27. And a flag down.
He's going to get the first down off of that. Two plays in the first half of this series here, and you're watching Brett Favre do something that they know he is. Confidence. Watch Sterling Sharp right side of your screen right here. He gets open. He wants that ball all the way. He's going to be working on Milton Mack. Give me the ball. I want the ball. Nobody's there. Come on, Favre, throw me the ball. Now he's going to turn back and try to get a block. They call Fullington on that late hit. And that's a questionable call, but judgment, and his judgment went against him.
The benefit of the doubt's always going to go to the quarterback. Of course, you always complained about that for 12 years. Darrell Fullington in for Covington, whose knee went down last week in the game against Phoenix.
Darrell Covington said, opportunity's going to knock, and I'm going to have a chance to answer it come Sunday.
Sidney and Bennett in the backfield. See if Sharp gets it this time. He's split out to the right. Edgar Bennett got it. Broderick Thomas stopped him at midfield.
Edgar Bennett, the guy they're really high on. He said they didn't want to get him into the game last week in a tight game because they thought if he made a mistake, it would work with his mind. But rookie out of Florida State, they think he's going to be a great player. I talked to Gil Haskell before the game, and he said that this guy they liked initially because he could block, and it was a great surprise when they found out that he could run like that.
Sterling Sharp is out wide to the left this time. Bennett in motion. Harry Sidney across the 45. Keith McCants made the stop, and that's enough for a first down.
Now they're working the inside of that interior line. There are Wheeler and Dotson, Calvin Tiggle in the middle. They know that that's an inexperienced middle, and they're going to attack it. The way you attack it, Harry Sidney up there, a couple of draws, loosen them up. It's a young group, but a confident group and a talented group.
First and 10 play at the Tampa Bay 45. Beach to the left. Sharp to the right. Favre with a pass. And it's nailed by Beach. Got to the 34. Milton Mack right on him.
And you saw right there the arm of Brett Favre. And there wasn't much in between. Favre just loaded it up and threw it. Lots of play action to Sidney underneath. And he's just waiting for Sanjay Beach to come open. Just give me one step. And that's really all he got, because that's great coverage by Milton Mack. Ball's on the money. And another first down.
Tampa Bay responds with the nickel. Thus far on this drive, Mike Holmgren looking pretty smart.
Now, he knows this team, and he knows what it needs, so maybe this is the time to inject Favre in there. So far, so good.
Sharp and Beach to the left. Bennett in motion again. The pitch to Sidney. Still on his feet, just short of the 25. Santana Dotson made the stop.
And the crowd settles down here a little bit, and what that means is the crowd is seeing this Green Bay offense starting to come to life. They have to come out. We always said in the beginning of the second half, you got the first 10 plays to make a difference. These first 10 plays, they're making a difference, and they have this Green Bay defense on its heels.
Second down and 3 from the 26. Harvey Salem, who led the blocking that time, is in there again. Give to Bennett. To the 24, but short of a first down. Jimmy Williams, the tackle.
As they approach the red area, Mike Holmgren says, when we get in the red area, we've got to score points. We can't come down there and blow it. Got to get down to the 24.5-yard line. They got it. 3 points is a given, but what we got to get here is 6 points.
Third and a yard. Sharp the motion. The carry by Sidney, and he appears to have it.
When you get to that third down situation and you're Mike Holmgren, you go with something to know that's going to work. And what he knows is Harry Sidney's going to non-stop work and work for that first down, and he got it.
They want to be sure So let's see if they have it.
Yeah, that's a first. So
Well, Favre has him going.
Favre got him going, and he's working the plan of Mike Holmgren perfectly. Now they get inside that 20-yard line. What they got to do is come away with 6 points. On the other side of the ball, time to regroup. We got to get our pressure back on the man. We got to go back to his philosophy, Floyd Peters' philosophy, aggressiveness. Let's see if we don't get a couple of blitzes inside the 20 to give the rookie a chance to make that arm work.
McNabb and Bennett in the backfield. We have not seen Workman this half. Favre to pass. Wanted Sharp, but instead Darrell Fullington.
He wanted Sharp, and he had Sharp wide open. Ball thrown behind him. Part of the reason it was thrown behind him was Keith McCants coming off the backside. Watch the left side of your screen. Makes him step up. He has him all the way, but the ball just doesn't have enough zip on it. That was 6 points. Great play by Darrell Fullington coming across. Talked about big plays. This man, Broderick Thomas, he's got to make a big play. Rely on that defense.
They'll think it over as Green Bay has started to move it. Brett Favre from Kiel, Mississippi, population 50.
Population 50, and that's about as many guys are down in the field right now. 50, there's a 47-man roster, and when you put a new quarterback like this in, what does that do to the attitude of the team? I'll tell you what it does. It gets everybody to rally, especially when you have early success. Their 11th play of this drive. Now you see they came into the huddle. Ken Rutgers pat him on the back. Rich Moran give him a, okay, let's go. You know, they have confidence in the guy because they know he's got great abilities. Now let's just make it happen. 11th play into the drive, it's happening.
Tampa Bay with the dime defense. Sharp and Beach. The little tuck around. Bennett and a flag thrown. So Favre shows that he can do that too. Ball advanced inside the 20, but that penalty.
And we got a hold on an offensive line. Another draw. And they run their draw different. You know, they come all the way back behind the runner.
Holding on the offense, number 63, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And Jim Camping got called inside on one of those two rookies, but they run that draw. They come all the way back behind the runner. So the defenders who are dropping, all they see is a guy still blocking. And they slip it in from behind and run right up the middle. Unfortunately, Camping had his hands out.
Beach and Brooks out to the right. Sharp to the left. 2nd and 20. Favre got his man. Down to the 18 is Robert Brooks.
And there's that big arm again of Brett Favre. I mean, it was there in a hurry. Robert Brooks coming across back in motion. He's just going to work back in the center of that zone. And they'll collapse on him, but Favre has the strength to get it there. You watch Ty Detmer. Now, Ty Detmer's another guy they talked about when we asked the quarterback situation, you know, who has the best feel for this offense? They said, well, there's no question. Ty Detmer has the best feel. They ran it at BYU. He's a guy who watched him in practice. He doesn't show much. Put him in a game. He works it perfectly.
A 3rd and 5 play from the 18. 17-0 Tampa Bay. Nearly halfway through the 3rd quarter. Favre with a little pass. Down went Vince Workman, and a flag followed. Despite the 17-0 lead, you really sense the emotion is up for grabs right now.
Face mask on the defense, number 47, 5-yard penalty. Brings the first down.
Yeah, that's an incidental, and that's Joey Browner right there. See, you're going to watch him come out, and they're just going to be in straight man coverage, and he's manned up on Vince Workman. Workman catches the ball. He's just running backwards. Incidental. 5 yards. They got the first down. Joey Browner figures to be a big piece here in this puzzle of Floyd Peters. Floyd, one of the guys he's really familiar with and has confidence in him, and he brings something extra to the defense, and what it is confidence.
Workman is the lone setback. And he carries. Almost to the 6.
So they're getting a nice 1-2 punch here with Edgar Bennett and Vince Workman. And Gil Haskell told me before the game that that's what they wanted to do. They took a page out of Minnesota's book last week when they had Terry Allen and Roger Craig. And at the end of the game, Terry Allen was fresh. They wanted to make sure Vince Workman was fresh.
It has only been this hot in Green Bay once all summer long, and it wasn't this week. Packers had some splendid weather as far as shirt sleeves are concerned, but not nearly as hot and humid as down here.
They're picking it up here in the second half early. They're almost matching the total of the first half with rushing yards.
Favre the pass. Gets a rush and is sacked. Santana Dotson, second of the day, fourth of the season.
Santana Dotson. Boy, they call him after the first week. We're going to have Santana Dotson, and that's what they got. Watch him work on Ron Hallstrom. And he said what he had to do was be able to work his feet. And that's exactly what he did. The big pull inside. Santana Dotson. Boy, he wants the crowd back into it.
So does Sam.
Part.
The flip, juggled by Workman.
Incomplete pass.
It's an incomplete toss. And so it'll all come down to Chris Jackie.
It's a great job there by Favre in the opening series. But you know what? Great job by Floyd Peters' defense, a young defense. They stopped them, and if they can hold them to 3 points after being in that position, that's a big plus.
This will be 33 yards total. Frank Winters to snap. Mikowski into hole. He has it. So Green Bay finally on the board. The first 3 Packer points come on a long drive that took plenty of time on the scoreboard. 9 minutes and 23 seconds worth. 16 plays, 67 yards. Setting up the field goal. Gary Anderson, the deep man for Tampa Bay. Hops to him at the 4. Hit once. Flag down. He got to about the 22.
That's a hold. Sam Weiss told us that their special teams were horrendous. They had to make them better.
That was the one black mark, really, from last week.
Block in the back by the receiving team during the return. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Green Bay has scored. See how Tampa Bay reacts. Back here again at Tampa Stadium. The penalty was half the distance, so they'll start this drive out at about the 10.
Hey, man, right there, that's defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes. What Ray said they had to do is 2 things. They had to get to the passer, and they had to have no big plays off of mistakes. They got to the passer early, but they made some big mistakes.
Cobb can't turn. There was no passer that time, but they got to the guy trying to carry it.
Yeah, and they did a good job of stretching that play wide. When you can get that running back to be running east and west instead of straight up, they stretched the whole thing. Watch Johnny Holland, Bennett come up. There's a good job right there. Tackle, nowhere to go.
Quickly, they're back to it again with a 4-yard loss. Testaverde got his man Lawrence Dawsey. Roland Mitchell ran him out.
We talked to Ray Rhodes. He said the same thing. Basically, they had to do the same thing as last week. They were going to mix in man coverage, and they had to also have the zone. That time, they got Dawsey matched up in man-to-man, and he came away with the pick of the 6.
So this is a 3rd down and 5. Again, we'll mention the emotional balance. Green Bay has at least gotten on the board in this half. It's 17-3 Tampa Bay. Testaverde lofts. Oh! Lawrence Dawsey. Vinnie Clark with the coverage.
They think Lawrence Dawsey's going to be one excellent receiver down here. Watch him on Vinnie Clark. Hey, this is as good as coverage as you're going to get. Ball's underthrown. That's why they think he's going to be good. Very athletic. Came back to the ball. Great presence.
28-yard gain on this one. That athletic presence brings the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to their own 43 on the 1st down with 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Vinnie taking his time, audibly getting everybody where he wants to be.
Thrown down. Big loss. Ezra Tuuolo.
That's a big play for Ezra. Watch in the middle of your screen right here. Ezra Tuuolo. They needed a big play. They went with the play action. He just beats him to the outside on a power move. Sack. Ezra Tuuolo came in for John Yurkovich early. He's quite a character. See that haircut right there? See, he said this is the farm boy look in Hawaii. He says his family has a banana farm out there. He said this is what everybody wants to look like.
Second and long for Tampa Bay. Testaverde lost one out, and he's got his man Courtney Hawkins. Hawkins crossing the field. Butler is there to throw him down at the 18.
That 49-yard game from Courtney Hawkins matched up Vinnie Clark all the way. He has him, beats him. Here's the difference right there. Poor tackling, and Courtney Hawkins, 49-yard later, Leroy Butler.
They hurry it up with Drury out wide to the right. But this just a plunge. Johnny Holland stopped Alonzo Highsmith.
Yeah, and there's a great stat right there. He just beat Doug Williams, became the Bucs' all-time passing leader. And what kind of day is he having? I'll tell you, he is one hot guy. 17 out of 19, 284 yards. They said they had to throw the ball well. They were right on the money with Vinny Testaverde.
Friday could not even get off the training table. Could not even read any of the plays. Reading them great today. Willie Drury, touchdown.
Willie Drury, the consummate pro, says Sam Weiss. Working on Roland Mitchell. Get him off in the zone. Poor tackling results in a touchdown and a great effort by the West Virginia guys.
Ken Willis to add some luster to all of this. An emotional arm wrestle in the second half. His guys have got it. Is this guy ever cranked? On the NFL today, you got just a sample. Players are getting a great sample down there right now, and he's got the scoreboard to back it up.
Speaking of hot players, boy, and getting cranked, Vinny Testaverde, 4 for 4 on that last one, 100 yards in that drive. Sometimes that's a good day for people. He had it in one drive. We asked Vinny Testaverde what Sam Weiss meant to this team, and he said, look, the guy brings a completely different attitude to the sidelines. He says he's always patting people on the back. He's always telling them to get up, clapping. Enthusiasm is the word you hear with Sam Weiss. And he wants the crowd in it, too. So I like to see that.
A man of fire in a new situation. But he's one of the better-known people in this town. They'll wait. The NFL on CBS next Sunday. Double dip, Tampa Bay and Minnesota. Detroit and Washington, a rematch of last year's NFC Championship. Wonder where Matt Millen was last year.
Well, I'll tell you where I was. You just crossed Detroit right off the screen because I was watching just like I'm watching today's game. They can take that run and shoot, and they can leave it in the college ranks because I didn't like to see it. Sam Weiss, though, he said he was going to add a little bit of the run and shoot into this offense today. And I'll tell you what, Vinny Testaverde has run and shoot numbers.
Sam Weiss is an historian. Said we have to make small accomplishments and wipe things out of the book. The week after Tampa Bay has won a game in the last 7 years, their subsequent record, 2 wins and 22 losses. Doing a pretty good job of changing it right now. Edgar Bennett on the carry. Mark Wheeler made the stop.
And that's a real good job by Mark Wheeler, a young nose guard inside who works right down the line. Mark Wheeler, as a player, had the chance in this league to be something special. You know, you start in early, and they're going to attack you every week. Last week, they tried to attack him. This week, they're going to try to attack him early at the middle of that defense. But he's a non-stop guy and a hard worker. Mark Wheeler's got a good chance.
Defense is the chance. For Bennett, but off. Milton Mack defending. He was 4 for 6 on the last drive for 22 yards.
Well, he's battling that Tampa defense, but the thing he's also battling right now is the Tampa crowd. You know, Sam Weiss said he had a couple of priorities early when he came here, and what he had to do was he had to earn the fans' respect, and he had to get his guys to expect to win. He's accomplished that.
3rd down and 5. Joey Browner in for Sam Weiss's defense, and Calvin Tiggle comes out. Dexter McNabb goes in motion. Favre looks in that direction. Sack. Al Chambly.
Floyd Peters got the boys humming over there. Everybody's getting into the act, including the crowd.
Courtney Hawkins, the lone man back, and McJulian will have to kick it. Will he beat the clock? No, he doesn't. They were whistling this one. McJulian trying to go ahead with the play, but the 3rd quarter came to an end. 3 quarters gone with the score. Tampa Bay 24, Green Bay 3. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. So McJulian to start out the 4th quarter from the other end. And again, Courtney Hawkins back. So from the 43, things will get started.
I'll tell you what, that's a poor kick by McJulian, and they're going to need better kicking out of him if they want to make a difference in the special teams. The other players is going to make a big difference in the team, period, because he's going to elevate the whole play, is Terrell Buckley. Terrell Buckley is a player that they're really going to be counting on. The rookie out of Florida State. You know, you watch him in the press and it looked like he was a guy who was a real cocky, arrogant kind of guy. I got a chance to talk to him before the game. He's not that way at all. He's a football player. And I'm looking forward to seeing him out there on the field.
Showed up at the stadium on Thursday and bought a couple tickets. They became unnecessary. He's got a better seat than you could possibly imagine.
See him right there? Is that man right there? Terrell Buckley. I'll tell you, he showed up, signed the contract, and I'll tell you how excited that coaching staff was. They wanted to play him right now. Defensive coordinator Ray Rhodes says, hey, I want Terrell Buckley on the field. He's going to make us a better player. But Mike Holmgren said, we can't do it. So they held him out this week. We'll give him a week, and then we'll get him in.
Lester Archambault made the stop that was a 1-yard loss for Anderson. If you're just joining us early in the fourth quarter, 24-3 Tampa Bay. Testaverde. Yes. Ty J. Armstrong. The only legitimate tight end available today.
Paul Gruber is the man who stays in all the time. And you're going to watch him matched up man-to-man. And they're leaving him out there all by himself. They're saying, hey, you're good. We know you're good. Block Archambault by yourself. You get Ty J. Armstrong man-to-man on the other rookie, Mark D'Onofrio. First down.
So Testaverde has a 300-yard game today. Mark D'Onofrio, the rookie out of Penn State, suffering at the Green Bay side.
And as a guy they got to have in there was Mark D'Onofrio. Along with Buckley, he's one of the pace setters that they have to have on that team.
Tim Ryan is out at a tight end position. Anderson is down.
That's a good play right there by Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett's one of the players in this Packer defense who's got to make big plays. He's their Charles Haley type big play guy. That's a great job pushing Gruber back and really giving Anderson nowhere to go. Ball at your feet, I'll take it. Tony Bennett says he's more of a power guy than a speed guy, but he's not real big. He's only 235, but he knows how to play with great leverage.
Detroit splendid in the dome again. Second down, 13 from the 43 of Green Bay. Anderson forced the other way and laterals, and Testaverde with a flea flicker. Lawrence Dawsey at the 2.
And Tampa Bay can do no wrong right now. Watch the athletic ability of Gary Anderson right there. Hey, get away. I'm flipping it back. Now, this was predetermined. You can see Testaverde waiting for the ball. And gets it on his way. Lawrence Dawson with a nice fair catch. Down to the 3-yard line. Tell you what, Sam Weiss did his job today. He doesn't have to get the enthusiasm going anymore. Everybody's into it. Now it's time to calm down.
No bag of tricks in this setup necessarily. Just a roll by Testaverde. He got it.
Testaverde, we're going to give you an option. We're going to roll outside and wait for the first guy to open. If it's not there, I'm going to throw it away or run. Touchdown. He got under Adrian White for 6 points. Vinny Testaverde, 20 out of 22, 355 yards, and he can do no wrong today.
Ken Willis hasn't either. And he keeps that string going. Everything going for the Bucs. 31-3.
This game summary is sponsored by Nike.
20 for 22. 355 yards, 2 TDs, and he capped this last drive of 5 plays and 56 yards himself. Off turnovers, 14 of the 31 points. But the yardage embarrassing to Green Bay. Edgar Bennett, far side. Robert Brooks, near side. But Sam Weish is the guy. Now, you can go to a lot of chicken dinners and visit a lot of service clubs, and that means a lot because Sam Weish is well known in this town. But there's nothing like the performance of your team and having guys standing out on the field, urging the fans to stand up. The players are selling the game here, too.
I'm going to tell you something, though, Doc. See, you can do all you want promoting, but you're not going to get anybody unless they start to play. This is the first time since 1980. That's 12 years. And right now, they have a chance to repeat it.
It doesn't make the end zone with this one. Robert Brooks makes the 20, but not the 25.
And he tackled by Joe King. And they brought Joe King in from Cincinnati specifically for this. Let's watch him come flying down the field. Worked inside. Hey, the key to special teams is to never stop. That's what he did in Cincinnati, and that's what Sam Weish sees him doing right here. So big plus, Joe King, in an area of the team where Sam Weish says they need some big changes.
Well, this starts out from the 25. And the Packers start out 28 in the hole. Just under 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Favre hurries to get one across, and Sterling Sharp has it.
I like Sampras, but I like Edwards better. I think he's a good tennis player. I think he's going to work the power game, and that's a part of the tennis game I like to watch.
The pitch back, and this time it is McNabb. Tumbled to within 2 yards of the first down marker. Mark Wheeler was the one who made the stop. Now, see, I like Sampras because any guy that battles like that, even though he's sick, like Vinny Testaverde today, you got to admire a guy like that.
Oh, you can admire him. You can admire him, but I like the power game more than a finesse game, and they're both kind of power guys. I tell you what they're playing right now is a power game. They've only let up 3 points in this game, and they're playing. And look, they're exactly what Floyd Peters wanted today.
2 yards to get for Green Bay on 2nd down. Favre with the bomb that is caught, and then it was stripped. Milton Mack with the splendid defensive play.
That was Milton Mack dressed up as Marty Carter. And that's a great job by Carter, the safety, getting over there. This is a nice ball, laid out perfect. Watch the strip as he comes down. Incomplete pass, just like you teach it. Marty Carter with a big play.
Milton Mack would have probably made it too.
Marty Carter, a guy back there in that secondary who can play corner or safety.
Well, this is 3rd and short. Just a couple to get the first down and keep it going. No. Jackie Harris couldn't hold. Joey Browner defending. So McJulian will have to kick again. With 10:40 left and a 28-point lead for the Tampa Bay Bucks. It is games like these that help franchises build, especially when they have seats to sell. Willie Drury is the lone man back for Tampa Bay and has it at the 11. Got to the 22 and a flag down. The punt, 46 yards. The stop by George Kuntz.
Talking about it again. Flags kill your special teams.
Holding on the returning team during the return. 10-yard penalty. Follows on number 23. First down.
Regardless of the outcome, Sam's not going to like special teams this week either.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's the right beer now. Crest, the dentist's choice for fighting cavities. Crest with Floristat. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Problems being mauled over by Mike Holmgren of Green Bay. Reflected on the scoreboard in a 28-point Tampa Bay lead.
And I would think after last week, this comes as a surprise to him, and I know it does to the rest of the staff. They had to work on confidence, and they're not getting it today.
Tim Ryan, who has been a tight end today, is at center right now. Gary Anderson in the backfield. Anderson for one, perhaps two. Brian Noble with the stop.
Sorry, Tim Ryan, the center, working on John Yurkovich. Tim Ryan was slated to play a lot today, but not at that position. He was slated to play at tight end. You know, he does a good job inside, but he's their backup tight, and that's a headbutter on a headbutter right there.
This is 2nd and 9, so you know you're going to wind up with a headache by the time this afternoon's over if you don't already. You know, I mentioned the heat at the beginning. Seems to be less now. The sun was actually under clouds for a while, and it came out right after the 4th touchdown by Tampa Bay. That was scored by Testaverde, who scores on a pass completion to Courtney Hawkins.
Every now and then in the National Football League, you get to see something like this. And what you get to see is a guy who can do no wrong. You know, I saw it a couple times with Montana. I saw Plunkett do it a few times. Testaverde right now, he's unstoppable.
Jennings stopped by Butler. And they continue to move the chains.
Yeah, we talked about that no-huddle offense, right? That last play was an example. See, before they could get set, they just snapped the ball. They pick up the first.
.166 via the pass, and that's just in this half. A question mark Friday, but an exclamation point today. Vinny Testaverde on another first down play. 8.5 to go in the 4th quarter. The fans want a flag. Little extra. Vinnie Clark was defending on Courtney Hawkins, but a little extra back downfield. Some scuffling that involved Ty J. Armstrong.
Watch the top of your screen up here, and you'll see the receivers just get tangled in the middle of the pattern, and that's incidental, and that's not going to be called. See their feet right there, he just tripped them. They're both working towards the ball, so no problem, no flag. Testaverde working that no huddle, but see what he's doing right now is just taking his time. We're up by 28. We're going to work the clock down. Line up wherever you want. See, we got 13 seconds. We're going to take our time.
The hurry up becomes a slowdown. 8:22 to go in the 4th quarter. Got it away, and it was caught. Back near the line of scrimmage, though, by Gary Anderson. Bryce Paup was in on the rush of Testaverde.
Yeah, and they're going with a lot of blitzing now to give him pressure. When you go blitzing, that means you have to go man-to-man behind him. But I tell you what, this man, he doesn't care what you throw at him today. I can't say enough about Vinny Testaverde.
You notice the Pittsburgh Pirates are tied in their game with the Phillies. Started today in the National League East with a 4-game lead over the Montreal Expos. DeBerg going to get a little work here.
Looks like Steve's going to get a little work. He didn't have his helmet ready. Now give me that ball. I got to throw it around and get loosened up.
Milwaukee 2-0 over the Baltimore Orioles. Milwaukee started the day 6 behind the Toronto Blue Jays, 2 behind Baltimore. Shifting back to football, how about an NFL Today report? Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Mike, at the Superdome in New Orleans, Bobby Hebert has come out humming in the second half. 7 out of 7, 210 yards, 2 long TD passes, including that one, 72 yards to Wesley Carroll. And it's a 14-6 New Orleans lead over Chicago in the fourth, Mike.
Chicago, a team normally with the good Septembers and the poor Decembers, but they're being shown by the Saints.
There's Steve DeBerg, the oldest player in the National Football League. 16th year in the NFL, and he's played well wherever he's gone, but he seems like he's always ended up in a place where there's a young guy who's just going to be better.
He has thrown for almost 31,500 miles, or 31,500 yards, pardon me, that's 18
a lot of miles, Doc.
That one broken up.
Saying Sam Weiss, he's put him in there, and he's just, hey, get in there and throw. Which is a surprise. I mean, why don't you hand the ball off? The game's over with.
Jeff Brady with the deflection, and DeBerg comes off in favor of Dan Straczynski. He's not had too much work today. Robert Brooks will go back as the deep man for Green Bay. Has tremendous hang time. Has been clocked at up to 5 seconds. 4 is considered great. 5. Brooks has it at the 34. 5 tough yards. 31 tough points on the board for Tampa Bay. It's been pretty decisive. Not that much time left. And it is Testaverde who has been the man of decision.
88% is a Tampa Bay record. 363 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad afternoon for a guy who didn't have to practice Thursday and Friday.
See, that's how you look at it, right? He got out of practice for 2 days.
Hey, he's lucky.
Sick as a dog, but he got out of practice.
He should get sick more often. That's what I think.
Had no balance on Friday at all. Had difficulty just walking and maintaining his balance. Just splendid this afternoon. Fire forced to roll. Tripped up from behind by Keith McCants.
And Floyd Peters got to be happy with this afternoon's performance of this defense. 2 things they had to do. He said, we have to get pressure on the quarterback, and we had to be able to limit their passing yardage. Get pressure. You talk about Keith McCants, and he's a non-stop guy, and he's got the speed to play. The Alabama guy can run. Floyd Peters, hey, I need sacks. I got 4. I wanted to limit them in passing yards. They got 77 yards. Floyd Peters, very happy man.
And of the 77, 32 came on Favre's first drive of the second half. Completes the short one. It will be short of a first down to Jackie Harris. Jimmy Williams with the tackle.
Everybody you talked to in that Tampa Bay locker room said the same thing. You know, our defense is going to have to carry us until our offense can get settled down. Well, today I think was a little bit different because the offense came out humming, but defense made big plays early, and that was the difference early in the game, and it just steamrolled.
3rd and short, just a yard. For next week even, Green Bay needs this. Edgar Bennett very close. Keith McCants and Darrell Fullington teamed up on him, and they say he has enough.
That was a big effort to get a first down. You know, Darrell Fullington said opportunity was going to knock, and you were going to find out Sunday afternoon if he answered it. I think you got your answer. Darrell Fullington, very, very well played game today.
Boy, from every injury, a star and a regular can be born. And you look at Green Bay now, and you see just the reverse of what they had such high hopes for, even despite their loss to Minnesota. And they're going to ask for time. What can they build on for next week?
Well, let's go back to the beginning again. And Mike was hoping, last week he said that they took a step and they matured. I think this week they took a step backwards. And that man right there, Brett Favre, he's going to have to pick up the pace because he's a guy they're going to have to count on for the future. On the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay, he's got to be real happy. You know, he said one thing at a time. I want confidence. I want everybody working together, and we got it.
Well, they'll stay in the division at Minnesota and at Detroit before coming back here for Indianapolis, and then a week off to assess it all. And it's been great so far. One of the other things that Sam Weish will undoubtedly be reminding his team about, and we're not assuming this is over yet, but with 5:34 to go and a 28-point lead and the way Tampa Bay has played, it looks good.
Mike, it's
as
over.
you knock okay, as you knock out various things that are ugly in the record book, one of them has to do with road losses. 14 straight. That's before Weish. Keith McCants again.
Keith McCants with sack number 5. And that is what you call an effort sack. Non-stop guy, Keith McCants. You bulked him up from that backer position and put him down on a 3-point. Just let him go. Floyd Peters said there's 2 players in this team. Number 1 guy is Broderick Thomas, who's a big play guy, but they really count on Keith McCants.
Seven on the sack. 2nd down and 17. McCants just 24, but another thing that Sam Weish has pointed to is that he brought 7 brand new 30 or older guys onto this team. So many of the young guys never won anything. There's a good pass. That threw to Sterling Sharp, and he got inside the 40.
Yeah, I think if you're a Packer guy and you're watching this team play right now, you got to be impressed with Brett Favre. You know, it's clear to me that he doesn't have the system down 100% because he's making a couple of poor decisions out in the flat, and he relies on his legs. But when he can see what's happening and know his arm can work for him, he's going to be a good player.
Well, he has been the man for the second half. And if you award the next start to the guy who moves the team, he's the guy for next week. Cincinnati will be in Green Bay for that one next Sunday. Favre with a little pass, and what a snare by Harry Sidney to the 24-yard line, and enough for a first down.
Boy, there's a great stunt down here with Keith McCants. Watch him work back underneath. He's just going to come through clean. Moran and Rutgers, 2-on-2. Moran just loses them completely. Keith McCants with the pressure. Brett Favre doing a great job. You'll see him set up. He knows he's going to be hit. Watch Harry Sidney all the way. Sid with the great catch.
Pretty impressive rack yardage there for Sidney. Not necessarily in the number of yards, but in what he did with it. Favre again. Sack again. Ray Seals.
Ray Seals with sack number 6 for Tampa Bay.
Bears 8 points behind New Orleans in the 4th quarter, and Minnesota may be a loser by the time that they face these Tampa Bay Bucks.
Tell you what, Tampa Bay is going to be in first place. You get Chicago, who could lose, Minnesota, who could lose, Detroit will be 1-1, Green Bay will be 0-2. So when's the last time you saw that at the top of the standings? Tampa Bay with a 2-0 start, #1 in the division.
Favre gets it loose, and Sharp can't get it. It's intercepted by Ricky Reynolds. Ray Seals put on the rush.
And that's big play #2 for Ricky Reynolds. Matched up top. You're going to watch them. They're just going to come down and work all the way across the field. And what happens is Favre gets a little bit too much air under that ball. Ricky Reynolds worked back underneath. Big play #2. So he has a touchdown and an interception. Nice job of working back underneath. Great concentration. Ricky Reynolds said when he was playing against Sterling Sharp, he had to be careful with him running with the ball afterwards, but he didn't have to worry that time.
Steve DeBerg runs the Tampa Bay offense, but the run seemed to only get a yard from Reggie Cobb.
Yeah, this is a good job by Sam Weiss putting Steve in there. Steve looked forward to coming back. You know, he said he was going to take less money to come here, but this is a place where he thought he could settle down, and he thought that he could get into coaching, which is where he wants to go after this. So, you know, how many times you see smile? I hate when quarterbacks smile, but if you're a Tampa Bay fan, you like to see that today.
Smiles all around indeed. DeBerg just loves this offense, says the reason he is here is Sam Weiss, and the offense is a quarterback's dream. 2-minute warning. We'll be right back. Where men's open tennis is down to just 2. And you'll see that after this. The pitch goes to Cobb. Still on his feet, nearly to the 40. More than enough for a first down. Archambault and Roland Mitchell with the tackle. Pete Sampras, Stefan Edberg. That'll be coming up next. U.S. Open Tennis Championship. Matt, of course.
Offsides on the defense, number 91. The penalty is declined. First down.
Steve DeBerg running this offense is completely different from Vinny Testaverde. Of course, you know, he's got 28 points to work with, but he says he's a system guy. He said that Vinny was an outstanding quarterback and just had to be surrounded with some good young people.
Craig Erickson gets a little work today. So does Cobb, but he's had plenty already. To the 43 before he stopped. You don't stop Greg Gumbel in New York, not now.
Not with all these things happening, Mike. Phil Simms to Stephen Baker, 6 yards and a touchdown. Simms then came right back with a touchdown pass to Howard Cross. Dallas's lead is now 34-28, 6:50 to play. All the scores and highlights coming up on the postgame show. Michael, back to you.
Postgame show not far away. 80 seconds of playing time to go. Erickson, the rookie out of Miami, Florida, led the Hurricanes to a 9-2 record. Dawsey in motion. Nothing going on the other side for Cobb this time. Tony Bennett was there to make the stop.
Yeah, and this is just run clock out time, and everybody's just going to attack on that defensive side of the ball. But this guy here, he's got to be disappointed with what happened here today. I mean, it came out and things went wrong for him right off the start. But I know Mike Holmgren, and he's going to have this team back. He's going to make the changes he has to make, and he'll get them going. That one who got him going early and staying was Sam Weiss. Brought a new attitude here. Hey, see that? Good job by Sam Weiss, brother. Yeah, he got everybody smiling, going there, congratulating the referee and Tony Mayberry, and happy man, 2-0. Sam White's done a great job here in Tampa Bay to start.
Almost all of the fans are standing, and it's not to leave. It's to salute the Buccaneers. As the fireworks go off for Matt Millen, Mike Emmerich saying so long from Tampa. The final score, the Buccaneers 31, the Packers 3. Greg and Terry will be along with scores and highlights in just a moment.